isn't your typical motorsports podcast. You're listening to Crush This, a monster truck podcast presented by High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. A show where we take you inside the minds of your favorite drivers, past and present, of the monster truck industry. And now, your hosts, Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash. Buckle in. The show starts now.
And welcome to a brand new episode of Crush This Live. My name is Brad Shaw, also known as the Monster Truck Canucker, and with me, as always, is Mr. Dan Chichagash. Dan, how you doing today, buddy?
Just set the record for the fastest hand wave. Okay.
Well, with your leg, it looks kind of weird.
It is what it is. I think I found the problem, and it's not the internet. It's
not
damn
Frontier?
laptop. No, it's this HP laptop. Okay, let's be. I got some story time here, kiddies. Let's go around the bonfire. I had a decent computer here that worked, and now nowhere updated, and the screen went black. Turn it on, nothing's appearing. Blah 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 blah. I had this HD laptop that I used for audio and stuff like that. Well, the problem is with this laptop, some of the recordings, like Adam Anderson, the first John Seasock, Kristen Anderson, a couple of these people that I did interviews for, it didn't save the recording. It just said an hour and then just jumped. So, laptop's been kind of sketchy, and now ever since I had this laptop, that's about mid-February. So all this crap I'll start around mid-February, and I need to get a new computer. I'm gonna build one. I want to get into the BeamNG. I want to do iRacing. I want to get the all this stuff, and I want to have fun. So I'm gonna, if anyone in this chat or watching this show know about good computers and know about it, that's the top notch, hit me up. I think I have a couple people that can help me out, but I think I need to upgrade my source of entertainment as in computer wise, because I am right now falling into the black hole of that. But in the RC world, on the other hand, if you guys checked out my Virginia Giant, it's pure awesome. So it's the first gen Virginia Giant RC truck for the retro class. And Dan Wyatt from J Concepts did a hell of a paint job. The crazy thing is the body itself is on the J Concepts website on the 1984 Ford body that you get from J Concepts. That body is the truck that's on my truck right now. And now I feel like a legit race team, Brad. You know why? Because I ordered parts last second. To build another RC truck for the crunch time. That's going to be this Sunday. So I had to tear the whole undercarriage of the Big Boss, which had the original Claude chassis. And I put those axles on the Virginia Giant. I got a new set of Claudes after I helped build a axial SMT-10 for Kurt Kramer for the Rolling Thunder truck. So I got those. I'm getting parts shipped from New York, California, I think Tokyo, Japan, Korea. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff going on here. And I ordered stuff from Florida. So now the underneath part of the Big Boss is a J Concepts, which is one of our sponsors, regulator with the J Concepts 27 turn motor, giving them some love. The Big Boss is a JB Scale graphics wrap, and it's gonna be some crunch time. But once again, so that's how's it going right now, Brad? How about yourself?
Just taking some time to get myself mentally ready and mentally right. Cracking away at graphics, presenting them for the Renegade Tour for upcoming this year. They're doing a lot of shows this year. I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing this year. Lots of mini monsters coming out with them, and just trying to keep busy as much as I can. nothing too much exciting. Thank you, Cheech, for taking the reins last week. I was under the weather. Yeah, so kind of just. And by the way, you mentioned getting into iRacing. You mentioned getting into iRacing. Thank God, because I haven't tried it yet, but Bristol Dirt just released, and I am excited to try it.
Oh yeah, I heard about. That's another reason. That's the main reason why I want to get myself that is because of the iRacing track. But we'll get some other news here. We have a winner, not a winner, but the highest bidder for the JB Scale Graphics Bigfoot wrap. This is a metal flake wrap for the RC.
I'm doing a drum roll.
The auction was closed, and that would be Jason Herrerez. I screwed up your last name. I'm sorry, but he had put the highest bid at $150. I'll go ahead and contact you. I have the information for you to send the money to the Tweeties themselves, and then I just need your address so JB Scale Graphics can send you that wrap. So outside of that, congratulations. You are the highest bidder. Also, want to thank our people that help us out. Joey Sylvester, Octane Coffee. Look out for their league, the Outlaw Drags, that's coming out in the next couple weeks. I think later in this month they're going to be at Horsepower Park, and they're going to be there. They're right now announcing lineups. So right now, outside Bad Habit, you're having the Vodders crew coming back. Black Stallion, Higher Education, and Dan Patrick and Rick Steffens Sampson. They're going to be racing there too. Another cool thing is in July. We already released the schedule. Hall, Raminator, and Ramunition will be at Canfield. So we're going to be there. They're running against the Outlaw guys and try that out. But yeah, that's pretty cool that he's going to start his monster truck shows here soon. So check that out. J Concepts, like I said, I gave him a lot of love. Go ahead and check that out. Jason and Fred, they do a kick-ass job. Nick Davis, Back Channel Productions Group, look out for their Thunder Nationals DVD interview segment that should be coming out later this year. And also the MOD shows. I think he was there at Corbin, Kentucky, so check that out. 6B Apparel. Hopefully, even though I put TA, I'm trying to get Chris on as a guest for next week. Talk about crew shirts. He was a tech one time, so that was pretty cool. Fire suits, t-shirts, stuff like that. So it's be an awesome time to talk about the merchandise side of the monster truck world and talk about that with them. JB Scale Graphics, they just released the schedule for the Trigger King events for the RC people. So we can't wait for that. He is officially licensed by Bigfoot. Also, Heavy Hitter, I forgot about that. Against the Grain, Overkill Evolution, and much, much more. Also the Bad Habit truck too. So take a look at that. And Bradley Shaw Designs, like he said, he's doing some upcoming work for Zane 2 and the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. And outside of that, Brad, any information you can release on any updated projects, and also how can they contact you on information?
Just right now, don't really have much in the pipeline. Just working on Zane stuff. Just contact me on Facebook, Bradley Shaw Designs, or on Instagram, Bradley Shaw Designs. I'm kind of working on some stuff for myself, some iRacing stuff. Just trying to get better every week at my design stuff. Being self-taught, I know only so much, so I'm trying to get better every day and learn more. But on to the episode, though. Cheech, I'm excited about this one because you and me got to race against this guy virtually for the virtual Outlaw Monster Truck Drags about last year at some point there.
Yeah, I was about to say next week is kind of like the 1-year anniversary of this stuff that we came and celebrate, because it kind of shut the world down. But yeah, he ran with us, and then he also people may not know, he ran Quad Wars a lot. And he hung out with my team Dayton, Ohio in 2019, which was pretty cool. So, if you could pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
terrible.
he is the owner / driver of the Ripper monster truck out of New York. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ryan Caputo. Ryan, how's it going, man?
Hey guys, how are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
I'm
Hopefully
good.
hopefully I said your last name correctly.
Yeah, that was spot on. Pretty good.
Not bad for a Canadian,
I
eh?
did- yeah, I was gonna say it's good for a Canadian.
I was just gonna say Ryan. I should try.
What
I
was-
should try more. My
what was
bad. I
Cheech
should
gonna
try.
say?
Caputo.
Well, oh, that's way off.
See, I was thinking like Villapoto. Caputo.
Oh man, it's a good effort, but that was off.
See, that's what I have, Brad.
So
Brad.
um,
Yeah.
might as well start off at the beginning. Cheech mentioned you did some quad wars and stuff. How did you get into everything? How did you get into racing quads and getting involved in the monster truck industry?
It's a little bit of a story, but so when I was a kid, my parents brought me to a monster truck show. 1992, Nassau Coliseum. Pretty cool event. And I was 4 years old, and I just got hooked like anybody else would. So fast forward a few years, I grew up, and I always wanted to race stuff. And I think it was 15, yeah, about 15 years old. Had a job, had everything, and I always had this dream to build a monster truck. Always wanted to build one, race them, do whatever. From that first show I went to, like I mean, like that's a story for a bunch of kids. You go see a monster truck in person, you're like, be pretty cool to jump one of these and drive one of these. I got that bug, I got the itch, and like I said, around 15, I saved a bunch of money up and went out and bought an ATV because that was basically the form of racing I could afford at that time. And I went out and I raced. So I was racing locally in the Northeast, and around 2009, we started to travel more, and I was doing one of the national circuits at the time, and that was my thing at the time. And I kind of brought that to like the forefront of what I thought I was going to do in racing. And then through some crazy chain of events, I met one of my good friends named PJ, who everybody probably knows him with Quad Wars fame as PJ Hall. And he just invited me to a show in Bangor, Maine. And I was 20 years old. I'm 32, so that's 12 years ago. And he just was like, "Hey, man, I need a rider for Quad Wars up in Maine. If you want to come, just come out." And was like, my dad was like, I explained this to my parents, and they're like, "So you're going to get in a truck with a guy you just met and drive 8 hours away to Maine to ride at a monster truck show?" And I was just like, yeah, why not? I mean, what's the worst
No
that
red
happens? You find
flag.
my body.
No red flags.
I'm a 20-year-old guy. I don't find my body on the side of the road. Like, I don't know. So I went, that was, and this was another thing is like the time frame on this was like 4 days. Like I just met him and he's like, so yeah, on Thursday night we're leaving, and it was like Monday, and I'm like this Thursday coming up or like in a few weeks? He's like, "No, this Thursday," and I was like, "All right, I'm in." And then truthfully, it was like crazy. Like I got in his truck and we drove up there, and then like I said, that was 12 years ago, and that kind of reopened my door into like monster trucks, and like because then I got to see the ins and outs of it. Like, yeah, I was doing quad war, and then at the end, like Chief mentioned, we would represent trucks because there were no more quad wars. But throughout the whole time, I was in shows, so I could see how the monster truck operated behind the scenes. I could meet a lot of people, and that's really like my quad racing, the quad wars, and me and PJ and the whole crew: Chris Butter, Jen Butter, Quentin, Brett Butter. You guys would all know them from around like Arena Tour 4 they did, and I would come and go when I could. I think Cheech was on that one. But yeah, that's like the Quad Wars thing. It was kind of like luck of the draw, crazy interweaving pass through motocross. And now I'm here building a truck. I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
So let's go to that story. How did you get your hands on some history there? A lot of people may not know, but that was a Brian Barthel monster truck at one time.
Oh yeah, this is another. So my whole racing career, my whole life is just done on like the outermost whim of anything. So we're doing the quad stuff. This is still going on. It's 2012, like June 2012, and finally landed myself a legitimate career. And I'm working in New York City, so I'm driving. I'm not driving, riding on the train home, and I get this idea like, all right, get older. I got a career. I could probably afford it. I don't want to get hurt riding anymore. Let's build a monster truck all on this train ride. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, I really, really like that Mopar Magic Bass that used to be Little Tiger, and whatever the history is. I'm not really a historian. Some historians will correct me, but it was from Brian Barthel. So I knew that Steve Sims had it, and I'm like, I literally went on Google on the train. I Googled Steve Sims, and I got his company phone number for his granite company, and I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to call him. What is he going to say to me? No? Like, what was PJ going to do to me on the main? Throw him out of the truck? Whatever. We'll take a chance here. So I call him up. They transfer me to him. I'm talking to him. Like, yo, do you have that V-Cradle chassis that you guys ran a while back? Because at this time, they were running the two newer chassis. So I didn't know what he did with it. It could have been scrapped. It could have been sold. And he just goes, yeah, I got it behind my shop. What? Why are you inquiring about it? I'm like, you want to sell it? And it's like, yeah. I think this was like a Wednesday. And I'm like, all right, I'll give you, this amount for it. He goes, okay, I'll see you Saturday. And I'm like, just on the phone, like, this Saturday? And he's like, yeah, you want to buy it for that money? Come Saturday. And I'm like, okay, see you Saturday. And I just hung up. And then I was just like, I'm like riding the train home, and I still lived at home with my parents. I'm like, do I even tell my parents I just bought a monster truck, or I'm like, I'll just wing it. So that Saturday, I bought a car trailer from my friend. I hooked it up to my pickup truck, and I drove to Virginia Beach, and I bought this chassis, and I drove it back to Long Island.
Well, it just seems like, with a lot of the stuff you were talking about, the Quad Wars and getting in the truck, it was kind of like almost by luck or circumstance, like all of a sudden you get a call, hey, want to ride Quad Wars? Oh, we're leaving this time? You call up Steve Sims. Oh, yeah, you can come this Saturday. It's kind of like all of a sudden, it's just like these things are falling into your lap. It's kind of awesome to hear that. And so when you got the truck, what was your next step? Did you already have the name for it and the idea behind the name already? Or did that come after you had the truck in your possession and starting to figure out, okay, what do I want to do with this thing?
Yeah, I had the name for pretty much forever, I was always on the fence with bringing it back. Like, I'm a huge Penda fan. Like, I think you are too. Like, Penda to me is like awesome. So I always wanted to bring back a truck from Penda, and then I was like it's just like a personal thing, but I'm like kind of wanted my own identity, I couldn't go my own name, and maybe if I had another truck, I'd bring back something from the 90s. It'd be cool. But so the name came about for motocross. It was like a motocross term, like somebody that's like good at riding or fast or whatever. Like if you Google like anybody like for motocross, like the Young Rippers or whatever, like they're like a good rider. Like they're really good at riding and just ripping. Like Chris McFarland says all the time with a fast vehicle, like this thing's a ripper. This thing's fast. It's awesome. So that's how I got the name. And then I'm like, you need like a theme, it can't just like handwritten on the side, like some trucks are good, simple like that, but like I didn't want that. So then I'm like, I knew about the 3 skeletons from an ATV guy, and I got in touch with him. Same thing with him. I just sent an email like, "Hey man, do you want to try to make some monster truck graphics?" And he responded, and that all snowballed. That was actually in 2012, and I didn't even have a truck yet. So we started going back and forth with ideas, and Matt from Stylewise Graphics, a fellow Canadian, he's on the West Coast though. I don't know if you're on the West Coast.
Yeah, I'm West Coast.
Oh, you're West Coast, yeah. So he's out there too. I drew everything like at a third grade level with stick figures and little cars and stuff, and this guy turned it into what's on the side of the truck. I'm like, that's literally all my ideas. You got them, but how did you get them from this picture? But he did it. So now the rest is history. It's on the side of the truck. And you guys mentioned JB Scale Graphics. I signed a contract with him, so you can get Ripper Graphics now. Fully licensed.
Okay, there.
For your RC cars.
That's cool. That's cool stuff. So a question I would have to ask is, okay, so what got you, since you got the chassis, you got the name, now the body of the truck? It's kind of like closely resemble the USA one, and this is a two-part question, which I like to have two stories from you. What got you to pick that Chevy body, and also how did you get your hands on a historical Chevy flag from the first national champion?
It's pretty cool. It's funny. So like the 72 Chevy, yeah, it's all right. I'm talking a lot. I'm good with this. The 72 Chevy came about. So my dad had a different year Chevy, he had like a 68 in high school or whatever. It was marble shaped brown, and I just liked that body style, but I didn't like the grill. Obviously, I always liked the 72 grill better, and I always had a dream or idea to build a 72 Chevy like that just to go to car shows around Long Island. And then once the monster came about, you got to figure this was 2012, so you get like timeline it. In 2012, like I think Donald was like one of the only guys with 72 Chevy, and then I think the Terminator truck, Gary Shot, he had a 72 Chevy, so there wasn't a lot of them. So I got in touch with GTS and everything, and they're like, "Yeah, we got the mold. We could do whatever." So, they did the mold and everything, and then I just, I had a 72 Chevy body I think I bought that in 2013. So I had like the chassis, the 72 Chevy body, and the design, the concept already, and we started just putting stuff together, and then it kind of snowballed from there, and then. It's funny you mentioned USA One. He was like between him and Carolina Crusher, those were always my favorite. I love Barefoot Forever too because it was a Chevy, and my whole family's a Chevy family. Like I love Chevys. Whatever, I don't know why. It's just a thing. But like I love the 72 Chevy USA One. Like I'm like, this truck is awesome, And that's where I got like the white from, and that kind of snowballed from there, like being in the roll bar and like the KC lights we want to do, and just like that theme, like a touch of the 80s, but obviously modern technology. And so that story, and then I'm good friends with Chris Mormanis, the ultimate historian of this whole industry, and he has contact with Everett Jasmer. So 2 years ago, when we were on out of the whole thing, Chris was like, I really owe to Chris. He was like, "Listen, I talked to Everett, and like we would always talk about me having one of those Chevy flags." And he's like, "I'll ask Everett if he wants to like sell you one or give you one." And I was like, "All right." Like, I mean, like the rest of my life, like, yeah, let's just go for it. Maybe I'll get one. This would be so awesome. And I showed up to the Hall of Fame, which was an insane trip that I'm lucky we survived. We could even get that. That was crazy. And get there. That was the first public appearance of the truck ever under my ownership. Obviously it ran as Mopar Magic, whatever else. But as me owning the Ripper, that was the first time it was ever in the public. So that was pretty cool. The first time I ever put on 66-inch tall tires and sat in it on like big tires. It was a lot. Like it was a lot for me and my cousin to get it out there and like do that. It was like pretty like, it was very satisfying Like I finally accomplished this because I started in 2012. This was what, 2018, I think. Was it 18 or 19? I think it was 19. Anyway, so it was the second night of the Hall of Fame, and I see Everett Jasmer walking across the floor with a brand new Chevy flag in a bag, and I'm like, wow, this dude's got a new Chevy flag. And him and Chris Mormanis walk over to my truck and put it on the truck, and Everett just waves to me, and he's like, "There it is, buddy." And I was like mind blown, Like I was like, I used to watch you when I was a kid. Like, I know. Now I'm a lot older. I'm like, yeah, you are. It's all on. That's for the flag.
So
I used to watch that as a kid.
I was gonna bring up one thing here. You mentioned about the Penda series, and you touched a nerve for me because you know that I'm a Penda nerd. I love that series. That's what I grew up watching. It was Penda and USA Motorsports. What do you think was so
You're
special
welcome.
about Cheech? What do you think was some of the best parts about Penda? Like what trucks did you root for? Like was there certain specifics that you liked it rather than other promoters?
Penda I liked because it just had like a real feel to me, and it was like these guys were qualifying. These guys, like when they crashed in the shutdown area, it was because they were like pushing the limits of the truck. It wasn't like like nowadays when they go out in freestyle, you basically expect people to roll. Like these guys were legitimately racing. To see somebody like miss a set of cars at like, I don't know how fast they were going back then, maybe 60, or like lose it in the shutdown area because you're legitimately trying to qualify or beat the guy next to you and fast. Like, look at Dan Patrick. What did he run, like 460 something? Like, that's really fast in a monster truck. And like, to me, just the way that series advanced the technology of the sport, that's what like really drew me to it. And I watch it like every Saturday morning, on TNN, and I would just tune in and watch it with my dad. People I rooted for, like your other side question, I loved Barefoot when it was Chevy. And then when he switched to Dodge, I was like literally heartbroken. I was like, this dude just cheated on me. So I mean, like I always rooted for Gary Porter because I thought he was like the nicest guy in the world. Like he would get beaten racing and almost apologize that like, like, oh sorry I lost. Like he wasn't even mad. But so I always loved him just for like Gary Porter. And I bought my monster truck Jack from him, so I got to meet him through the industry, which is cool. Same story. I'm like, dude, I used to watch you when I was young, and I think it like rubbed the agent the wrong way, but whatever. He built me a cool Jack. But the Penda stuff, I just loved it. I don't know. It like I said, just felt like real drag racing to me and monster trucks, and these guys were trying new stuff. There was innovation. It was cool. Like I don't know. I just thought it was cool. What did you like
Now
about
we're
it?
talking about does that open question for both of us?
Yeah, both of you. No, I'm only talking.
Okay.
I'm only
Well, go ahead,
talking to Brett now.
Brad. Yeah, that was a question
Okay.
between Brad. I'm just saying,
Okay, you can chime in on this too, Cheats. The reason why I loved it as a kid was, number one, the racing. It was for me. I was obsessed with everything NHRA, American Sports Cavalcade, TNN, and it growing up seeing. I remember when the Hollywood Hogan truck came out, the NWO version or the red and yellow. I remember specific moments as a kid, and I think growing up in that era, the Penda series having such an effect on me as a monster truck fan. That's why I still love it today. And for me, I cheered for, Gary Porter. I was always a Bigfoot guy. I always hated Snakebite because I was a Bigfoot kid.
Yeah, me too.
And back in the day, not knowing that they were a part of the same team.
That's like that was like finding out Santa Claus is fake. I'm like, you guys are teammates? I was pissed.
Oh man, like I remember the how I found out was like, I don't know what season, I forget what season it was that Gene Patterson switched to driving Bigfoot, but I'm like, wait a second, that sounds like Colt Cobra. What the heck?
Yeah. I think I figured it out. I had the Shake Battle and Roll DVD, VHS tapes, and I think Snakebite crashed, and like Jim Kramer runs over and like helps him out, and I'm like, why would Jim Cramer help him? That's their arch enemy. What's going on? And then they're like fixing the truck, and I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, and like the same thing. I'm like, that looks like Gene Patterson. And I was like, oh, it's all a scam.
What about you, Cheech? What did you like about the Panda series?
Snakes don't have necks.
That was the best.
Let's see. Well, for me, I always liked it, just because it was not just you'll see the best out of the best. There was, maybe one time in monster truck history that you would have the top driver in Bigfoot, Gary Porter. So you have Andy Brass, Gary Porter, Dennis Anderson, David Morris, one of the two best drivers in Taurus with Eldon DeFew, Fred Schaefer. Then you would also have Cole Cobra / Gene Patterson and Snakebite. Columbus 92. Right following, my favorite seasons were 92 and 93 was when Gene Patterson was driving Bigfoot because of Wildfoot. But Wildfoot run, there was a lot of memories, and yeah, I mean, I loved the Penda to a point, because I mean, then it was just pure domination by Bigfoot. But the early stages of Penda for me was the best from 91 to 93. Maybe outside 94 was pretty fun, because between 91 and 93 you would have, new trucks coming out like No Problem, Nightmare.
Yeah.
The Hall brothers came with the USA 1 truck, for a little time being. Overkill. I mean, criminy, that Extreme Overkill truck was just crazy. Ford.
It's like industry changing stuff.
It was pretty
almost
cool.
every week. Like, you guys would just try ideas, and you're like, oh, okay, wow, that's crazy. And I don't know, I just loved it. It was awesome.
And then to a point where, Fred had it. I know it's a bad time, but Fred had to change. When the money shows up, it'll make anyone change their mind very fast. And
Listen,
Fred had to do that.
I did love the Dodge, like my favorite year for the Dodges was 96 when they had the black Rampage and red Barefoot. That was awesome. And I think, but overall, I like the same years you did, like 91 to 94. Andy Brass's last year was awesome. I love the paint scheme on Bigfoot. I loved Wildfoot. Like, they did a lot of cool stuff, but obviously Team Bigfoot had a stranglehold on everything, so.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But so we're continuing on with your truck in general. Actually, I was more talking about historical facts. I know Brad was talking about the Penda, but there was a cool story you told about the audio, which we're gonna refresh your memory about. There was a kick butt truck in the 80s, a red Ford Econoline van that was on 48s or street tires, and then he committed to make it as New York City's biggest monster truck, biggest truck, and that was the heavy metal truck. And then you have a pretty cool story about that truck and you.
Yeah, so the heavy metal van, I'm like, I like run errands for guys in the industry if it's on Long Island, like if they find parts out here in the Northeast, my phone is always open. They could call me up. So I'm good friends with Steve Thompson, and like I talk to Tim Mente, CJ all the time, and CJ is like big spare body dude. He loves the Chevy trucks and everything else. So he texts me out of nowhere, and he's like, "Hey, found a bumper, an Enforcer bumper. Remember the worn Enforcer bumpers, like from the '90s? These really crazy bumpers he used to make." And he's like, "Hey, how close is this to you on Long Island? Would you mind going to pick it up? If it's not Rusty or whatever else, this guy has a deal with me." So I'm like, "Yeah, no problem, man." So I Google the address. The guy's 4 minutes away from where I live. I'm like, it's literally around the block. So I'm all right, CJ. Yeah, set it all up. I'll go over, take care of everything. I'll get it. So I go over there, and I get to the kid's house, and he's got like 2 lasers in his driveway, K5 lasers in his driveway, and one is like, I could see it over the fence. I'm like, all right, this dude's got like off-road trucks on Long Island, which you got to realize on Long Island, it's kind of rare. There's nothing to do here with off-road. So when people lift stuff, it's noticeable. So I go back, and if you get and he's like, oh, here's your bumper and everything. And, we had a lifted K5 Blazer on like 40s or whatever. And we get to talking, and I'm like, oh, how do you have all this stuff from the 80s and 90s? He goes, oh, my dad actually used to have a monster truck. He saw my sticker on the back of my truck, or the Ripper or whatever. And he's like, my dad had a truck in like the 90s and ended up being the heavy metal van. So his dad wasn't the original builder or anything. I think he bought it from that guy, and he would still drive it around New York. Like, they lived right where I live. So he was like, yeah, as a kid, I used to ride in it, this, that, the other thing. And then he ended up selling it off. His dad unfortunately passed away, so I didn't meet the actual guy. But I ended up getting CJ's bumper from a kid that lives around the block from me, whose father owned heavy metal at one point. That was like kind of crazy with monster truck history, and so local,
It's kind of funny how,
Right
kind of
on.
coincidences like that happen, and I'll say this about, Tim Mente and those guys. Those guys are awesome. Got to meet Tim in October. So, but there was a question that was asked here by Wayne Norbury on here. He's asking, what was the process of updating the chassis to what the standardists were? It's kind of a jumbled question. It seems a little bit, but what did you have to update to the truck to make it kind of more to what today's standards are? Did Steve do any updates to it when he had it, or did you have to do a lot of updating to it to make it, more to what trucks are today? I think that's kind of what he's asking.
All right. Yeah. That's a good one. I get that one a bunch. So when I got the truck, it was just what they were running in 2009, I guess, 2010 when he stopped running it, and it was very simple. That truck, from what I'm told from these historians, it was built in 2002, so a lot has obviously changed. So when I first bought the chassis in 2012, brought it home, totally pissed my parents off, and put it on the side of their house. Actually, I couldn't get off my trailer, so I just hooked it up to a car, my dad's car, in the garage, and I pulled my trailer out, and the chassis fell down onto their driveway, which was awesome in my eyes, but they were pretty pissed. So chassis was sitting in my parents' driveway, and to answer his question, I have been friends with Jason Yonkers out in Michigan, who runs the short iron monster truck. You can probably see the giant blueberry that Ellie Miller has coined it. So me and Jason talked forever. We met on Monster Truck Mayhem Forum. Like, we used to talk on that. And he called me and he's like, hey man, if you want to bring it up to Michigan, we could do a bunch of updates. So I'm like, all right, I'm Long Island, I don't have a shop. I'm building this on the side of my parents' house. So I'll bring it out to you. So I brought it up to Michigan probably the end of 2012. And I went out there, and then I had a vacation from work, so we went out there, and actually we cut the front of the chassis off from the main rail. The main rail stayed, and then from the firewall forward, we cut off because the truck was running 20-inch travel shocks in front, 26s in the rear. So we knew right away, like, the 20-inch travel shocks they're not going to be cutting it with what we're doing today. So we cut that all off, and then it didn't really have any vertical bars anywhere in the cab. So I basically just printed out the newest rule book from Monster Jam and the MTRA, and we had to add backlit bars, the vertical tubes next to the seat. Those backlit bars we added. I had to add all the cross bracing in the roof. We put X's to the back shock towers. The whole front from the firewall forward is new that Jason did out in Michigan. So now the truck runs 20-inch travel shocks all the way around. And a bunch of the updates were basically done right from the rulebook with the thicker wall material. And I just tried to get it as modern as I could. Like, I mean, I know that's not going to be a brand new metal shop chassis. Like, it's old. It was built in 2002, But we tried to get it as close as what would be safe for me to drive and technologically somewhat up to date, So that's really like the major changes that we made, because I didn't want to go all in and cut the cradle off and then cut the front off, cut the back off. At that point, you might as well just buy a whole new chassis, you know. So working with what we got, we just pieced it together and followed the rule book as, you know, whatever they want for us to pass inspection and run. And I just did that over time. And then the truck came back to, I finally got a shop on Long Island. The truck came back to me, and we just fabricated all that stuff in my shop on Long Island.
Man, so let's talk about the current updates on that truck. Do you have an idea when you're possibly going to feel like the truck will be complete, or what additional stuff are you going to add to it?
So now it's at the point where it's just like really expensive stuff to buy. So it's one more item, and it's what everybody needs is the engine. So I've been in touch with Richard Midget, and we're going to go that route, the motor build, just for reliability, and just, you know, he's a name in the industry that a lot of people use. So it's probably going to be very similar to like a Monster Jam build. A little different stuff. Want to make it a little more spicy, you know, I'm just winging it. I'm not a professional driver, so it'll probably be a cool highlight reel of be destroying the thing. But yeah, so we're gonna get a motor, and like, I don't want to make promises, but I definitely want to be at least on display at Bloomsburg this year. Whether it's running or not, if it's not running, I'll just do a static display like the Hall of Fame. But I would really like to have it there for like the East Coast, you know, Northeast people to see. And Bloomsburg is a whole show. I'll be there for the whole weekend. I'll probably go out there even if I can't make it with the truck. I'll go out there just because I like the jamborees, and that's our goal for like group, you know, the team, or it's not really a team, my cousin, and we just start winging it. But that's the timeline. And we also upgraded the shocks. I had a set of shocks from a company up in Canada, Scott Shocks. Never ran the truck. I never got to use them. And the only reason I switched away, those guys are great. Like, I call on the phone, they'd answer any questions or anything. But they have never ran shocks on a monster truck. So I was going to be like the R&D team. And me and Dan were talking about this before the show. Like, I want to be chasing my tail with suspension. I don't want to get hurt. You know, I mean, of course you could get hurt doing anything. Like, maybe I'll get hurt. But, like, I don't want to chance it. You know, like, I want to go out for a race pass, hit the finish line jump, and then next thing I know, my back's broken. So I put a deal together, and we got rid of those. And I'm actually, Josh Garcia is building the new set of shocks right now. They're at powder coat, so it's gonna have Josh Garcia shocks, you know, from their PEI shocks that he set up, and then the motor's gonna be from Richard Midget. We already have the ATI transmission, same setup that Zane runs, and I think it should be pretty stout. You know, it should hold its own at least.
My question is: are you going to run zoomies, or are you going to run the, you know, suppressed, ridiculous collectors?
That's what everybody says. I always make the joke that I like the way the mufflers sound, and I could just, you know, drink a cup of tea while I'm driving it with my pinky up, you know. No, we're gonna this thing is gonna be as loud as possible. Like, it's like
The most like,
running any event.
You got to have that thing loud, and you got to have that thing loud and ridiculous, man. Like it that's just how it is.
Yeah. So, like, I'm a big fan of you know, street drag racing, and like that single, like 4.5 inch exhaust, like a Jim Kohler setup. So it's either going to be like Gravedigger Zoomies or Jim Kohler setup with a single sack, you know, at either side, kind of like what's on the Riggs of Rods version of the truck. So it's either going to be one of those, but there's definitely going to be no mufflers whatsoever. It's got to be loud. As loud as it can be. Exactly like
Jeremy Hosman just put in the chat, rap attack loud.
Yeah, I mean, if that's possible. Jeremy's truck's pretty loud too.
I see. I've never been around Rap Attack before, so I don't know how loud it actually is.
It's loud.
You probably thought you were hearing a thunderstorm in Canada, and that was actually Rap Attack driving.
The
In
loudest
America.
truck I've
Yeah.
ever seen was when Tony Farrell was driving Digger 12 as Gravedigger the Legend. That was the loudest truck in a small arena I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's like saying you tried a hot pepper, but it's only Frank's hot sauce. Rap Attack's like devil's advocate
Yeah.
pepper. Yeah,
I
that's what
don't.
level
I don't
you're at
even
right now,
get it.
Brad.
I don't even get it. Why is it so loud? Why is
I
it
don't know.
so
His
loud?
header. So I think it's because it's a smaller pipe. When
Yes.
let me correct you on that. Let me correct myself on this. His pipes on that truck is legitly the size of a typical monster truck. But if you start looking from the block to the end, you also see some dings, bangs. Probably the pipe goes like that, instead
Yeah.
of that. It's just it's the same on the truck. It's the same type of pipes that's on Max D prior to the mufflers. Remember when Tom had the individual pipes on the side of in the motor on the front of the truck, the short pipes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
that, but the difference between
That thing
Dave
is just
just
loud.
doesn't care. It's loud. That or I always thought Virginia Giant was loud too.
Virginia Giant's got a
Yeah.
good sound to it. I remember that truck in particular at the Renegade show was louder than all the other trucks, and just how that Hemi just sounded through those zoomies was just glorious.
I think
You need to
Trailer
listen
that's a
to it.
lot to do with it too.
You need to listen to it in the inside.
Trailer trash.
Let's
Trailer
put these
trash.
pipes on the ripper.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen to that stuff in the inside, Brad. Not because I can just videotape one of the Hemis out of the Hall brothers coming out of the garage, and you got a lot of catching up to do,
Yeah,
Mr.
those are-
Canadian.
Hey,
Those are
I'm
loud.
starved for monster truck action here in Canada. Okay,
The first thing you need to do is just move. That
I
will
know.
fix all your problems.
I trust me.
Why?
I'm
why
hoping.
Why is Canadian bacon American ham?
I don't know. Okay,
I don't get it.
and then
That's a
here's
legit
here's the
question.
thing.
Legit question.
I don't even know. But here's the thing. And I got called out on this again recently. The whole decal versus decal thing. Okay, do you guys say decal in the States all the time? You guys don't say or you guys say decal, not decal, right?
We say decals.
Decal sounds like a Christmas decoration. Like I just hung a decal on my
Yeah.
door.
Or
Oh my
it sounds
gosh.
like a pastry. Did you try a decal?
Yeah. I've tried a decal lately.
It sounds like a drink. Let me just
How do
get
you
a
say
sip of
No.
let me get a sip of decal.
How do you guys say aluminum? Do you say aluminium or aluminum?
No, aluminum.
Aluminum.
Oh, all right. That's only the English.
Yeah, it's only the Brits
But-
and the Australians.
All right.
Do you
At
say
least you got
gas or
that.
petrol?
I say gas.
All right.
Okay.
That's good.
I know you guys are still controlled by the Queen, so I didn't know if you guys had, petrol or gasoline, some type.
My grandmother's actually from Nova Scotia, so I got a little bit Canada.
Yeah, Nova Scotia proud. That's where my family's from.
Nice. I don't know where, but it's where she came to America from. So that's cool.
So I mean, let's make people know that thank you for your service as being a law enforcement in the city of New York and everywhere. So, how's been since the COVID happened, and how's that treating for you?
Yeah. Well, thanks for saying thank you. It's good here. This year's been crazy, man, because we're not only dealing with the day-to-day police work, you're also dealing with this virus on top of that. So it's definitely different. I work in Manhattan and I do counterterrorism now, not so much on patrol anymore. So we handle different stuff, but it's it's definitely like a crazy time to be a cop or even just alive. Like we're living through a pandemic. This is like history, but the job definitely got a little bit harder this year with between the riots, the pandemic, just the job in general. And then, on top of this, now you're interacting with all these people you don't know. We wear masks, but you don't know like what people have. Then you could get sick. I actually did get sick. I got COVID. So knock on wood, I survived. So, but it's just been a little crazy.
And even though I'm up here in Canada, thank you for your service. I have I have a couple friends and some, people I know that are RCMP up here in Canada, and, it hasn't been easy for them. And, with that, and talking about the monster truck, are you going to be doing like a special, maybe something for, the first responders and stuff on your truck as well?
We have I have a few decals made. I just personally I don't like to mix the two. It's kind of like a hobby thing, and it got very politicized this year. So I don't want to be involved with politics. So I'm just gonna just like run the truck the way it is, and it is what it is. If it wasn't so political, of course I would, but yeah, I'm just running it, and like I said, we got some small decals to represent, and my big thing with my job is it's my career, and I always want to be a police officer or a firefighter, and the police department called me first. Truthfully, another wing it moment in my life, and I was 22 years old, and I'm like, all right, let me get this career going because I want to build a monster truck. And I mean, you could go on Google, you could look up my yearly salary. So with that being said, building a monster truck shouldn't be out of the reach of people. I feel a lot of people ask me how do you get into monster truck? How do I build a truck? Oh, you're probably rich. Oh, you get all this money. I'm a normal guy with a normal job. I work for the city of New York. I don't. There's no trust fund here. There's no sponsors. And that's why some people ask me what took so long. Which sometimes I get a little it's weird. When somebody, what took you so long to build this thing? I don't make money hand over fist. I use my overtime money for my monster truck, and some money that my tax return. Everybody, see savings, tax return. I'll go buy parts. But having a normal job, and I think I have a pretty normal life. But I'm still building a truck on the side. So if anybody out there trying to build a truck and thinks it's a money thing or my job thing, you could do it if you prioritize your funds and your budget. You could make it happen. It's taken me 9 years now, and I'm right at the end. And then I'll drive this thing. So that's kind of a message I want to hand on to people. You could be a normal dude and go build a truck, or a girl. It doesn't guy girl doesn't matter, whatever. You could do this. It's very doable. So, I mean, that's kind of off topic from what you asked. I am gonna represent on the truck, but it's also things where I want people to see you could just have a normal job, be a normal Joe Schmo like me, learn how to weld, and buy an old chassis and go crush cars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's numerous, like Greg Wutchenbach and the Crustacean. People forget that, yeah, he started around 2010, but he got that chassis around, I think, 2004-ish. So it took him a while before he built, that Crustacean truck and kind of made his Northeastern empire. You know, and another thing is too, another Northeastern guy. Seems like a lot of you got Northeastern New England guys, have something in common with getting trucks and taking your time. John Fitzgerald with the Turbulence. He's an air traffic controller in New Hampshire. He takes his time. I mean, yeah, his truck's running, but he bought a truck that was already ready to go. He had to take his time with stuff like that. So I mean, people need to learn that it's not a sprint, it's an endurance. And
Yeah.
the average fan doesn't know how long it took you to build a truck. All they care about is you're at the show right now entertaining them, and that's all that matters to them. They don't know, oh man, this truck
Yeah.
took them this long, and it was built in 2002, blah blah. No, they just like, the Ripper's here, that's pretty cool, let's see how he do.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
Yeah.
let them be. But a lot of the people that may be asking the questions of saying why it's taking so long for you to the monster truck, I don't think they have one in their garage or workplace. So that's
Yeah.
another thing.
Exactly. Like, you hit the nail on the head. Like, I'm like, well, it is very doable. I started off as a kid with a dream, and I chase it and chase and chase it. But like, I'm not putting together like BMX bicycle here. Like, it's kind of expensive stuff. Like, it's not even just the monster truck. You guys know, you're in the industry. Like Cheech, like, you don't just have a monster truck and go drive it. You need a trailer. You need the tow rig. You need spare parts. You need to put fuel in the tow rig. Like, it's not just like one boy that you're like, all right, it's done. Let me go drive it. Yay! Like, you know what I mean? So like, that's a big thing too. Like, my trailer I got from Jerry Richmond, another monster truck legend, awesome guy. But like, that thing was pretty expensive. I had to buy one. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, here's a car trailer for $2,000. Like, that trailer was expensive. It's a serious trailer, and then I had to buy a truck to tow the trailer. It's like,
Yeah.
everything.
I
just
say
like
here, Ryan,
snowballs.
the way I've been learning since I've been, since I was a greenhorn in 2014, is that it's okay to cut a little bit of corners on the race truck itself, because later on you can buy parts for it. You can't cut corners on a rig in a trailer, because when you I know a lot of people are going to probably be like, well, you were trying to get in the show and stuff like that. But for me learning, if you have a reliable rig and a reliable trailer, that right there is going to take you to get your money, and
That's
then
it.
if you have a good built monster truck, yeah, you may have to cut corners and put some cheap parts on the race truck here and there, but later on, you're going to go ahead and put those add-ons. But if you cut corners and put some cheap parts on a rig, and you're alongside the road and you're doing a first quarter show at Bangor, Maine in February, I don't think anyone wants to be there in the snow. You know how the weather is up there; it's crappy sometimes. But if you have a good built, good decent rig, and then you have a trailer that can keep that truck in, you can go anywhere you want. You just got to do your time to do the shows. You can get parts, you can buy parts left and right, but it's going to be a hard time getting stuff together when you're alongside the road. That's one thing I've really learned about this industry, is the most important piece of a monster truck is the vehicle that delivers the product to the area that you're doing your show to.
Yep. And I mean, that's actually what we're doing now too. Like, another upgrade, we're actually selling my Duramax, and we're getting a bigger truck to tow the trailer, just for what you said. It's going to be a safer setup. It's going to be a lot better handling our trailer size. And like you said, you got to get the product to the people. If I can't make that part of it, then what am I even doing here?
One thing that I quickly want to say to you, Ryan, is thank you for running the Crush the Stigma decal on the sim version of the Ripper in Rigs and Rods. Thank you for that. Being able to see that still kind of being on trucks, even virtual or real life, is still cool for me. So quickly, I just want to say thank you for that. And it means a lot for me for that as well.
Yeah, man. I definitely, I could relate that, because life is always like roses and rainbows. There's some hard stuff in between my career and like doing all this stuff. Like, this year has been like hard, and like, losing friends. Like, I was really like, not I wouldn't say best friends with Mike Thompson, but I knew Mike Thompson. I used to text Mike Thompson and do like Steven is one of my good friends, and like it's still like when that decal came out and everything happened with that deal, like I it's gonna be on the truck. Every truck that I build and every body that I run, I'm gonna have the decal on there. For Mike and everybody else suffering with this stuff, like it's not just call anybody, talk to anybody, and like I can relate. Like I mean, it's personal, but like I can relate. Like I get stressed out, I get anxiety, and I'm like, oh shit, man, like this is, and like you just talk it out and you keep going, and you just life, like I just said, life isn't like a breeze, and some people got it rough, some people got it easy, and some people deal with it certain ways, but it's cool that you made that, and I'm proud to represent it and everything. Hopefully get the word out there,
Yeah, and
I always say,
I was gonna say quickly say a new design coming soon.
and
Yeah,
I was about to ask you, Brad. Are you planning on making those 6x6s actually, decal wise, and produce and distribute them?
Yes. I'm trying to find a new supplier for the decals. The people the one person I was working with, we're not working with anymore. I'm needing to find a new supplier and printer. Being in Canada, for me, it'd be, the shipping costs would kind of be a little bit higher. So I'm looking for somebody that can handle that part in the States again. So if anybody knows somebody that can print, okay, Cheech, I'll be messaging you after this. I want to be able to get the word out more, and especially for this time in my.
Sorry to interrupt you, Brad. I'll just do the distributing. I just go through the same people that does the regular crush this decals over here in Paxton, and then all you do is just message me saying, "Hey, I got someone to buy." I could send it. You could tell me, hey, send 2 decals to Ryan. Okay, I'll send it to him. Or, someone paid you a decal for, whatever, and just I'll tell you how much is shipping from my area to whatever, and then I'll just ship them. So I could do that for you.
And especially for me in my life and times kind of right now, currently my life, I want to get that up, crush the stigma going again, and create more awareness, because I'm not gonna lie, things haven't been easy for me. I'm going through a lot of stuff in my personal life, and I feel like doing crush the stigma right now will help. So again, Ryan, thank you for running that, and for even saying you're gonna run on all your trucks forward. That means a lot to me. And for what I'm trying to do in this industry as well, it's awesome to hear that.
Yeah, of course.
Trailer Trash RC just said.
Too.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I think I'm in a laggy area. We're gonna blame it on Frontier. I blame it on my computer. I blame it on both. I hate both. Whatever.
Blame Frontier.
Anyway, Trailer Trash RC. Blame Canada. Trailer Trash RC. Frontier's from Canada, I think. Anyway, this laptop's probably says made in Canada. Nope, Indonesia. Okay, I'm blaming Indonesia. Anyway, Trailer Trash RC commented saying, dude, you're in Paxton? Nice, not too far. I'm actually in Champaign. So, yeah.
You should get that out there. Trailer Trash is awesome. He wants to get into the industry. Invite him out to the shop and break him in, make him mount 17 tires. You get over monster truck really quick when you got to mount tires.
Right. What's even fun is when your jack dies in mid tire change.
That's cool. Yeah,
and the guy's telling you, "Hey, the jack's charged up." Okay, hit the button. Not working.
Or
electrical
gremlins. It was oh, those are the worst. I cut my tires myself. It was 12 to 15 hours a tire with a Sawzall. I'm pretty sure at the end, I'm never again.
They're not bullcrapping when it says 40 hours for one tire.
They're not lying. I totally thought they were lying.
Well, you were just saying. You were just saying that Trailer Trash wants to get in the a lot of RC guys are wanting to get into the business. Look at Kevin Talbot in UK. You know, he's planning on finishing his truck. You know, and Trailer Trash wants to get into the industry. It's cool to see the RC guys getting into the full size stuff. You know, it's awesome to see.
Yeah, that's
Trailer
these
Trash.
guys
If you don't
definitely
need
wanna
a
get
jack
in,
to do,
so it's cool.
he said, Trailer Trash says, I don't need a jack. Yeah. Okay. So I would like to have a jack instead of trading that off with a hernia. So if you want a hernia, Trailer Trash, be my guest and take a look at a medical bill. Then you want that jack. So you go right ahead, big boy, and you lift that truck until you pull a muscle or a hernia, and then you're at the hospital and you gotta pay that stuff. So good luck.
You guys gotta
I'll take a
check
jack.
out his
I'll take a jack.
you gotta check out his YouTube channel with his RC bashing.
I
I've
heard about
definitely
him
watched
through, I
pretty
think
big
from like
video.
Josh and Josh Rhodes and Vodders, Mikey Vodders, and his YouTube channel.
Yeah. Trailer Trash is basically like the whistling diesel of RC testing.
Oh God.
Whatever
That
whatever can
whistling
be
diesel,
thrown-
that whistling diesel boy is dumb. I'm gonna tell you straight up. You get confused between a Dana 60 to a monster truck axle. I mean, I know that boy's spending money left and right because of
he's
YouTube
smarter than us,
stuff,
man.
but
His bank account is huge.
yeah.
That kid's living
But I
the
know-
life right now. But
I know a lot of people that have tons of money, but they're not in this world right now because of stupid decisions. So
Hey,
it is what it is.
I would just rather watch Cletus McFarland all day long.
Yes,
Hell yeah, brother.
that's a guy right there.
I was gonna wear my
That
Cletus
is a guy.
shirt too, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I guess he's
You
on the
should've.
Freedom 500.
I love Cletus. I love that he used the term the Ripper. I'm hoping I can get some of that, like maybe like social media buzz. Like, oh,
You
like
see,
Google the
what
Ripper.
you need to do is when you get your truck finished, drive all the way down to the Freedom Factory and be like, Cletus,
Just
you
show
want
up.
to drive a certified Ripper? Here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here it is. It even
Yeah, well,
says it.
Yeah. Well, he's
Send
right
them
off
shirts.
of
That's
Bradenton.
what I should do.
Like, I know exactly where that track's at. All you have to go is Google Bradenton Speedway, and it's right next to that race drag strip, about 2 exits down from the Feld shop. So, yeah, it's not that far away from there. And I think
I
you
gotta
know,
send the guy Ripper t-shirts. That's what I gotta do.
Yes, you do.
that's what you need to do.
Just
Yeah.
some like a care package. Like, dude, I watch you every day on YouTube.
Okay. We'll say this. I'll say my favorite car from Cletus, and then you guys will. My favorite car from Cletus right now is probably his mega truck, the white Chevy Mega that he's got. That's my favorite thing he has so far.
Yeah.
I think that was Milkman at one time.
Possibly.
I think possibly, but it's a nice truck. That was
My
decent. I like
favorite-
his video about his. What is it, Ryan?
My favorite's Leroy, 100%. That is sick.
That's a certified Ripper.
I just love the in car when he's driving it. He's like almost scared every time, and it doesn't go straight. He holds it wide open. Like, that's awesome.
I watch his stuff and I like what they do. Because they also even though they do some crazy stuff, they at least respect the equipment. Like I can't handle people that just one guy could throw away money, but why would you bury a two? I mean, okay, there's some Chevy and Ram fans, but I wouldn't even bury a brand new Ford truck just to destroy the internals of a truck. You know what I mean? It's or drive a monster truck, with broken, he's spending $300,000 on a new monster truck when all he had to do was just change some Heims.
It's
I have to throw my hands up in the air. He would have saved himself
Money
money.
can't
But
buy
whatever, he
knowledge.
needs all this.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, all he needs is those clickbaits. Like you said, he has money in his bank account, but I mean, the guy also tried to shoot a gun and it ricocheted and hit him in the head too. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, back
Did
at
he
the ranch.
really?
Yeah, there's a thing. He was shooting like a 50 cal or something like that, a big ass gun, and he shot it on like some like a stop sign, and the bullet didn't hit, but the piece of the bullet came back and hit him straight in the head. He was like bleeding all over the place.
Yeah, I did see that on Instagram. I like
But
not like a social media whiz there. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and I double click and move on.
at least
What
we
else
can
do we
all agree
got
that Cletus is the man. And
Yes.
I think one day eventually, he should get in a monster truck. Hopefully the Ripper. He'll be in a certified Ripper. I just think that would be like the coolest video ever. Like monster trucks at the Freedom Factory. Like, come on, what would be cooler?
That'd be cool. It would be cool. I tagged Elliot Miller in one of Cletus's posts, and I'm like, dude, you got to get down there and have a throwdown show there. I mean, we would totally destroy his grass, but oh well.
Oh God,
The
shirt that I was wearing today was the one about don't touching his grass.
Yeah.
We did a show there. We did a show there. Well, before it was the Freedom Factory, it was another name for a track, but Jimmy Creedon did a monster truck show there in 2015, and they didn't touch the grass. They used the pad, and the racetrack has a cross. They used the asphalt throughout the whole track. They didn't touch really the grass of the track in general. So it could be done. I don't know what changes he has done, but you need to make a vacation trip. That's what you need to do. Tell the wife we're going to Florida, and she will say okay.
Actually, we are going to Florida next month, so I could probably like sneak it in there. I'm
going that
now.
big rig.
Yeah,
do it.
We're gonna fly, honey. We're gonna take the Duramax. Don't worry about it. It's cheaper than flying. She'd be like, my wife would be yeah, pick me up at the airport.
Oh, no togetherness.
No.
But still, I mean, that's a good.
What's up?
I said that'd be a good way also to, throw in some, love to them and say, hey, this is my monster truck, the Ripper. You want to, we'll bring it down and have some fun. Can't say no to a monster truck,
cool.
Right?
Yeah. How could you? That would be cool. That's a goal. Like, like I'm building the thing. That's a goal. Like if I could make it to the Freedom Factory and he's like, here, how to destroy the, do some burnouts and drift. I'd be like, all right. Like, I'm not gonna say no to that. Who would?
No, and trade some T-shirts.
Future event goal is make it to the Freedom Factory and rip it up.
You just got to be careful of Jack Stan Jimmy getting a hold of it.
They could all drive it. Who cares, man? It should be okay, I guess.
Yeah, it's a monster truck.
Yeah, it's a monster truck. Right?
Yeah. But I mean, that'd be pretty cool if you get the ride in that Corvette of his.
Yeah, I mean that stuff is fast. I'd take a ride in anything.
Buddy.
I'm used to like pickup trucks, so like anything faster than a Silverado, I'm pretty impressed by.
It's a Silverado.
Yeah.
The Silverado.
America.
Oh my goodness. Someone said, who the hell would say no to a monster truck? Generation Z. Anyway, whoever they are. What was it? Gen Z? Whatever. Anyway, that's still pretty cool. I mean, so hopefully this, podcast can go to get hold of Cletus and let's show some love. Get to it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Diggy.
Yeah, man, I hope. No. Be cool to get down there.
Yeah. I mean, that if everything, and if you get the truck ready to go by Bloomsburg and, but if everything's the same thing that happens this year, next year, you could book pretty much 2 or 3 weeks your vacation time and just be in Florida with your monster truck.
wouldn't mind it, truthfully. Up here in New York, it's cold during winter, so being in Florida would be cool. Not cool, it'd be hot, but it would be cool to not be here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you can bring Brad along.
Hey, bring a Canadian.
Brad, you know. You know.
I'll be your crew chief.
Yeah, I don't care. Do it, man. If you come out, get to where the shop is and get in the truck, you're along for the ride. That's all I ask. You just got to get here. That's it.
That's the hard part.
Open. Yeah. There's got to be a catch, you know.
Oh yeah, there's always a catch in something. So
learn your tools, Brad.
Yep.
9/16, 5/8, inch and an eighth, inch and a quarter, inch and a half, inch and a 15/16.
I just got to get the whole I just got to get like the right way what you guys use for all your bolts and crap.
Blow. There we go.
It's American
Ryan's
standard.
Ryan's gonna take you the whole night to get a third member change if Brad's gonna be your crew chief.
Oh,
so God, you might as well just call it a night.
Oh jeez. But as we start winding down here, Ryan, is there any social media that people can follow you on and get up to date on what's going on with the Ripper and you?
Yeah, so social media is on Instagram. It's Empire State Monster Trucks. That's a company name that we have now. So it used to be the Ripper Monster Truck on Instagram. We switch at Empire State Monster Truck. That's what everything is going to fall under. Possibly other toys and trucks. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? So it's going to be, that would be our Instagram. We still have a few t-shirts left. If anybody wants t-shirts, just DM me whatever you want if you need a t-shirt. Like I said, JB Scale Graphics for you RC guys. He's licensed to make Ripper kits. So they're going to be going out if you want a Ripper RC car. And I have a Facebook. It's just my name on Facebook. I'm not like active on Facebook. I don't really I have 0 posts. I'm on Facebook for the marketplace, but I am on Facebook. The biggest truck thing, like I said, though, is the Instagram. I try to post the story daily, and if you DM me, I usually I go on there like once or twice a day when I'm on train and I'm hanging out. So that'd be the best bet. Empire State Monster Truck on Instagram.
So that's gonna be like your team name.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's a whole branding thing, whatever else, and like I said, that's what the motorsports is going to fall under. And then we have the Ripper, and we got some ideas on the pipeline that will, maybe I'll tell you on the next podcast. But we just want to get the one truck done, and we want to get out on the road. And that's our goals for 2021. And hopefully, the pandemic falls off, and we go back to normal monster trucking and normal life.
Gotcha. Hey, Brad. This was a good time. Good talk.
Yep.
Another hour and 30-minute show, so can't beat that. But yeah, man. Thank you, Ryan, for the cool interview, man. This was a good talk. Good talk. Enjoyed that.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Any social media, Brad, people can follow you.
I was just about to ask you the exact same. You can just follow me at the Monster Truck Canucker on Instagram. Also, Bradley Shaw Designs on Instagram as well. On Facebook as Brad Shaw or Bradley Shaw. I forget right now. Go follow me. Go give my graphic design company a page a like. Yeah. And what about you, Cheech? What's your Tinder profile?
Social media. I'm gonna ignore that comment, Brad, because you Canadians are into that weird stuff. Social media. You can send me a postcard or a letter to my address in somewhere in the United States. It'll be between 3 to 4 days shipping, and then I'll get back to you as soon as I can when my pigeon comes back. And then, or if not, I'll send a letter directly to you by horseback. My social.
I live on an island, so you could just throw the message in the bottle. And it should
Great. Now I have the police
Yeah,
stuck in my head. Damn you, Ryan.
if you want.
a message in a bottle, or
Yeah.
I
Sing
am
that-
going to get the
Sing that
longest.
for like 10 days.
I am going to try to get the longest string between the Campbell's can of soup to the other can of soup, so we can talk that way too. My form of social media is pretty old school.
He's on MySpace.
And
everybody.
who's MySpace?
He's still got his MySpace.
It's
Tom
my
is
letters.
on your top 8.
I still have a feather with ink and I cursive, and then at the end of the envelope I put a candle and I press it, and then I send it and I give it to whoever it is, and then hopefully my message gets sent a month later saying, "Oh, we're gonna be here soon." So, or I do have an Instagram, and I do have a Snapchat, Twitter. So Facebook, it's me personally, Dan Cheech Agosh. I do have a RC page, Dan Agosh RC. Instagram, same thing. Snapchat, if you want to add me there. I just show stupid videos of my teammates. It's Dan Agosh 10. Most of the time I try to scare them. And then I do have a Twitter, but I just use it for news and information on NASCAR and HRA, and just laughing about wrestling. So that's pretty much it. Instagram also, I have an RC page too. Crush This has an Instagram page too. So we got that. You can find Brad also on I'm done. I'm done.
Okay.
You can find Brad at Grinder or whatever.
Oh,
So
God.
I'm
Oh,
done that.
man. All right.
Anyway,
Well, thank you, Ryan, for coming on the show. It was awesome getting to talk with you and what's happening with your truck, and we can't wait to see it, debut finally, under its own power, and you behind the wheel kicking ass. So we're excited to see it, and we'll definitely have you on again once some more news is available about when the truck's debuting.
All right, awesome, guys. Thanks.
No worries.
You're welcome. Hey, also, before we go, and I'm going to interrupt Brad because Brad's talking too dang much. We are also got to thank our sponsors. High Octane Coffee, like I said, with Joey Sylvester. Thank you so much for what you guys do with the giveaways that we have. Brad gets too excited because he wanted to leave so soon. We also have, once again, to take a look at Joey Sylvester's Outlaw Monster Truck Drags. That's coming soon, starting in March. I don't know exactly the date is, but later this month, he will be at the Horsepower Park in North Carolina, which is owned by Kayla Savage and Paul Strong. They have the Heartbreaker and Martial Law Monster Trucks. So take a look at that coming up. J Concepts, they're a big help with the RC bodies. They have made the 72 Chevy and the 70 Chevy monster truck, RC monster truck. So you can make your truck body just look like the Ripper 2 with the help of JB Scale Graphics, which just announces the official license of your phones are moving around, I hear in the background, for the Ripper. Also for Bigfoot, Overkill Evolution, Bad Habit, Heavy Hitter, and all of them. So go ahead and take a look at that. Also with that, Back Channel Productions, some videos are showing up also. And then 6B Apparel. These are $100 a pop. Same thing with the OG. Contact me or Brad if you want a crew shirt. So pretty much that. TBA, where hopefully we get Chris from 6B. I'll get him hopefully get on. And also Bradley Shaw Productions or Designs. Check his stuff out with the Renegade Monster Truck Tour and some iRacing stuff coming soon. So that's about it from what we got.
Alrighty, guys. Until next week. As I always like to say here, keep the rubber side down, the shiny side up, everybody. Peace.